I'm Dr. Antenucci. I started my career in dentistry in the Air Force, where I helped our military personnel get healthy and stay healthy. From there, I built a successful practice in Huntington, New York, and later as a teacher, lecturer, and author, I shared my knowledge and experience with students and fellow healthcare professionals. And now my journey's taken me here to explore the world of health, wellness, diet, fitness, and nutrition, as together we discover and find the good life. Welcome to Finding the Good Life. I'm Dr. Gene. When I want to get really confused, I take a short drive to my nearest bookstore and work my way over to the section on health, nutrition, and weight control. In other words, a diet section. Take, for instance, the China Study. It's a current book where the author concludes that a vegan approach to food is the best for health and longevity. And right next to it is another bestseller, The Plant Paradox, which strongly states that many plants contain lectins, which are anti-nutrients. They're mild poisons that are responsible for inflammation and many illnesses and autoimmune diseases. And on the same shelf, another bestseller called The Primal Blueprint advocates a low-carb diet with little to no sugars from grain-based foods and a diet based on fat and protein for energy. Then there's all the stuff on TV with people showing how much weight they've lost on this plan or another. What do? The problem is that there are too many choices about what to eat. Food is sustenance for our physical bodies, for our minds, and for our well-being. Every bit of food that we eat becomes a part of us. It incorporates into the cells that we're made of. Food is something we need each and every day for energy. It has the capacity to both heal us and to make us ill. It's a source of pleasure. It's a centerpiece of many family and social events. It's a centerpiece of many religious services. The great singer Luciano Pavarotti was once asked about food, and he said loud and clear that one of the very nicest things about life is that we must regularly stop whatever it is we're doing and devote our attention to eating. Let's put some facts on the table. Humans get food and nourishment from carbs, which are sugars, from fat, and from protein. But the most efficient fuel for us is fat. Sugars are a dirty fuel. They give us a quick fix when we eat too many sugars, and fats get stored up for a rainy day when we eat too many sugars. But it quickly and predictably gets out of hand. We can't tackle all of this in one show, but we want to break the ice on this program today and begin to explore approaches to food and meals that can become a lifestyle and which will help you lose weight and reach the best levels of health. We are so happy to have Dr. Annika Kubecka here on the show with us. She's a renowned physician and an expert not only in women's health, but also anti-aging and hormone therapy. Dr. Cabeca, we're honored to have you here on the show with us today.
It is great to be here.
You have some amazing credentials. Tell us all about yourself.
Thank you. Well, I trained at Emory University as a gynecologist and obstetrician, and I, through personal trials and tribulations, had to keep going. So I then trained in functional medicine and anti-aging and also integrative medicine. And it's been a journey.
Wow. Well, tell us, what do you see as one of the biggest problems when women and people in general deal with the question of how to have a healthy lifestyle of healthy eating?
Well, I think definitely for women in general, especially during periods of great hormonal transition, whether it's pregnancy, the perimenopause time period, and postmenopause, that it is very specific to each individual, and women are different than men. I know that seems like a very obvious statement, but for so many years, decades, the plans that we use for men and athletes were just transplanted to women.
When you went through your crisis period of time, did you change your diet drastically?
I did absolutely. Gluten-free, dairy-free, low carbs, and now I call it the keto green way of living. So getting my body into ketosis on a regular basis, as well as lots of those low carbohydrate greens and alkalinizers that make a huge difference. Stopping snacking was a really big thing, and extended intermittent fasting. And that really helped achieve hormonal balance for me and for now thousands, hundreds of thousands of my clients.
And not only for women, but also for men, because I find that there are the same effects with men regarding their hormone balance and the type of a diet that you're speaking of.
100%. Testosterone, testosterone syndrome is a really big issue. And there's a link to our high carbohydrate diet and lifestyle, not to mention all the toxins and hormone disruptors that are affecting both men and women.
Explain a little bit more about the effect of excess carbs on the regulatory hormones in our bodies.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we get a diet full of carbs. Not only will that lead us into a low energy slump later on, or, the crashing fatigue midday, and then again, sometimes difficulty sleeping, restorative sleep. That's kind of a result of what's happening physiologically. With increase of carbs, increases the blood sugar within our system, which drives up insulin to drive that glucose into the cell. And then we get this, the peaks and valleys of our blood sugar, creating also an inflammatory excess glucose creates inflammation. And then we get an increase in our life-saving hormone cortisol to try to decrease that. And that when we are increasing our cortisol production or responding to stress, we're depleting our restorative hormones, the hormones that build us back up, like testosterone and estrogen and DHEA. So that high carb lifestyle really does, affect all of our hormones in a very, can be a very devastating way in the long term for most all of us.
Dr. Anna, where can our viewers learn more about all this great information?
Well, thank you. Definitely visit me on my website at dranna.com. So at DRANNA.com. And my book, The Hormone Fix, which is available anywhere books are sold. And my next book coming out May 5th is Keto Green 16.
Thank you so much for your time today. We all have learned a lot.
Over 70 years of experience in heart and aviation, the members of the Association of Flight Attendants know the realities of the aircraft cabin better than anyone. We don't just serve drinks, we save lives. We don't just negotiate contracts, we move major policy issues like the smoking ban, no knives on planes, clean water, and safe food on board. The air we breathe matters, and we stop the spraying of poisonous pesticides. The Association of Flight Attendants, stronger together, better together.
When it comes to a healthy lifestyle, there are more choices than ever when shopping for food, beverages, and snacks.
Well, I have some of the good stuff right here. If you're looking for a great dairy alternative, look no further than Hope and Sesame Sesame Milk. It has 8 grams of complete plant-based protein per serving and comes in 6 flavors. Should we give it a try?
I'd love to try it.
Let's see what we have. We have chocolate. Oh, I think I'm going to try this vanilla. What else? This looks like unsweetened. And, oh, this looks really good. This is chocolate hazelnut.
I vote for chocolate.
Oh, okay, let's go for it. So this is gluten-free, kosher, dairy-free, soy-free, and has great source of protein. Let's give it a try. I've never tried.
It's kind of creamy. Look at that.
I know. I've never tried this before. I bet this is going to be great in smoothies, and sesame is great for the environment. Cheers.
That's really good.
This would be very good in a smoothie. Don't you think so?
It's good, yeah.
Oh, it has yummy.
Yes,
this is great. And it comes in these kind of containers, and also these are great for has a long shelf life. We all reach for a snack, so why not make it a healthy one? Mosaic's organic pot veggie and potato chips have real nutrition from real veggies. Mosaic chips have more fiber and protein and less sodium and calories than Pop chips or Lay's. And Dr. Jean, their #1 ingredient are peas and beans.
Peas and beans.
I know. Let's see what flavors we have. We have sour cream and onion.
Have cheddar here.
We have cheddar. What else?
Sea salt.
I guess we should try the sour cream and onion because I keep going for these. I love these. Should we give it a try?
Well, I have a cheddar. I'm going to try it.
Oh, and there's sea salt too. These are good.
This is good.
These are really good.
I normally don't eat chips. These are really good.
It has organic peas, green peas, yellow peas, organic potatoes, organic spinach. Dr. Jean, another way to make these snacks even more satisfying is with these dips from Vegicopia. They're portable snack portions which are shelf stable and no refrigerant is required.
This is black bean dip. I'll open it up.
We have hummus. What else do we have here? Roasted red pepper. And
more
black bean dip.
hummus. I'm going to take a
It
chip.
has chickpeas, tahini, onion, garlic. All of these snacks offer high fiber, protein, and low sugar. To find out where you can buy any of these products, visit spinningwheelbrands.com. These are going home with me, so everyone better keep their hands off.
I'm going to take some.
I'm going to take all of these. Okay, Dr. Jean, now that we've had all these yummy snacks, it's time for Ask Dr. Jean. This is where we take questions from you, the viewer, and discuss some of today's hot topics. You can go to findingthegoodlife.tv to submit your questions, and it's completely anonymous. So let's dive in.
Let's go.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. This one is from Smyrna, Georgia. Dear Dr. Jean, I recently heard about a dust-up between superstar Lizzo, love her, and health expert Jillian Michaels. It was a great reminder of the pressure and body shaming that larger ladies like me face every day. Although I'm a larger lady, I love how I look. Isn't it possible to be large, healthy, and happy? Signed D in Smyrna.
That's a great question,
Yeah.
and it's a big problem because we learn from TV and from society that everybody's supposed to look like what they look like. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, our bodies are all different. Our bodies are made, our genes are different. Some people are taller, some are shorter, some have larger faces, smaller faces. We don't come from a cookie stamp and look the same.
Thank God. Isn't that great?
And it is. Thank God it's true. The point that's important is that we have to start with a love of ourselves. And that shows a love of self. Mm-hmm. And when you start there, you realize that I can do anything that I want to. What's important is to recognize health, because it doesn't mean if you're a larger person mm-hmm. that you can eat whatever you want, because you're still under the same constraints of health. Mm-hmm. So love yourself, enjoy yourself, celebrate yourself,
yeah,
and eat healthily at the same time.
Well, that's what I think is so great about Lizzo is she celebrates her body.
What it's about.
She is living her best life.
What it's about.
And she really lets a lot of people who are larger be like, listen, what you see on Instagram, first of all, is totally filtered and don't believe everything that you see.
The hardest thing is for kids growing up, kids
mm-hmm.
in elementary school, high school, they're under so much pressure. And that's where the shaming comes in.
Mm-hmm. That's why, go Lizzo.
There
She's
you go.
Amazing.
Teach them.
Are you ready for another question?
I am.
Okay. Here's another one. A parent, he has 2-year-old twins, and he's read about all the negative effects of screen time, but he doesn't want his kids to be behind in technology. Actually, this is also for me. He asked, what do you think the right answer is when appropriate to give kids access to screens? Actually, this is a question for me, too.
This is a very, very big problem mm-hmm. because you're looking at both sides of the coin. You don't want your children to be left back or mm-hmm. left behind in terms of technology and growth. But at the same time, there's bad things that happen in our brain when we're absorbed by digital technology. Mm-hmm. There has to be a limit, and that's my answer, to limit.
Like limit the screen time.
Limit the amount mm-hmm. of time. Don't say no, don't prohibit it, mm-hmm. but limit it.
I like it. I'm like, get out and play.
That's it.
Don't live your life here. Live your life out here, right?
You can't.
I like it, Dr. Jean. We've got to take a quick break, but we're going to join our health coach, Leiah Rocheleau, for tips to stay on track while dining out. Don't go anywhere. These are very good tips.
They're great.
This is going to be such a... This is going to be
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder? You may be entitled to compensation. A December 2018 Reuters news report states that from 1971 to the early 2000s, Johnson & Johnson was aware their raw talc and finished powders sometimes tested positive for small amounts of asbestos, but didn't disclose it to regulators or the public. Substantial verdicts have already been awarded because of Johnson & Johnson's failure to warn the public of this risk, including a $4.69 billion verdict in July of 2018 and 3 other verdicts totaling over $614 million. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder for feminine hygiene purposes, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience, support staff, and resources to get the most compensation for your injuries. Call now.
Season after season, year after year, customers have found that when it comes to replacing their windows, there is only one company to call, Renewal by Andersen. Call 1-800-468-9503 now. So what makes Renewal by Andersen so good? Fibrex material, an innovative composite material exclusive to Andersen that provides strength and durability, far surpassing vinyl. In fact, it won't warp or bow over time like vinyl does. Get the window replacement solution proven to stand the test of time, plus the peace of mind that comes from a superior service experience. That's Renewal by Andersen. Call 1-800-468-9503 today and get 20% off your entire order with this exclusive TV offer. Again, that's 800-468-9503 for 20% off. Plus, get no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments for 12 months. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Call 1-800-468-9503 now.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder? You may be entitled to compensation. A December 2018 Reuters news report states that from 1971 to the early 2000s, Johnson & Johnson was aware their raw talc and finished powders sometimes tested positive for small amounts of asbestos, but didn't disclose it to regulators or the public. Substantial verdicts have already been awarded because of Johnson & Johnson's failure to warn the public of this risk, including a $4.69 billion verdict in July of 2018 and 3 other verdicts totaling over $614 million. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder for feminine hygiene purposes, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience, support staff, and resources to get the most compensation for your injuries. Call now.
Welcome back to Finding the Good Life. We've been talking a lot about various lifestyle diets and how they can make a difference in how we feel. We're going to join our health coach, Leiah Rocheleau, with some expert tips on staying on track while dining out.
So you and I really got to know each other when Jay and I completed the 21-day Kickstart.
Absolutely.
And it was very interesting because we had already been vegan at the time, but I think we'd hit that place that so many vegans hit, right? Where we were vegan, we lost a bunch of weight initially, and then we hit that plateau of, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
And through meeting you, you encouraged us to try the Kickstart, which was a completely new approach to veganism and really whole food plant-based. So kind of explain what the Kickstart is, how it came to be, and why it's amazing.
Yeah, so you can go to bcrm.org and do the Kickstart at home for free. And that's where you're getting classes, online classes, and recipes, and you shop and cook and make your own recipes. And what I decided was that people don't know how to cook, and they don't have the time or patience, I think, especially in this area,
The East Coast for
to do
sure.
those things.
Yes.
So while they may do 1 or 2 meals a week, they're not going to have that 21-day experience. If you live in this area and you want to come in and take real classes with people, have the interaction, meet other people that are on the same journey, and then at the same time take home food for 21 days. So one class you're taking home meals, and then you do 1 drive-by pickup for a second set of meals. So over a 21-day period, you have 43 different organic, plant-based meals that not only help people to learn what their tastes are for those dishes, but they also let people experience optimal health.
I love the transition from week 1 to week 2, because week 1, people, you know, some people really struggle with the food because there is no salt, no sugar, no oil. And then by week 2, they think you changed the food. Right. Because their
we
taste
always
buds.
get, did you start adding spices in? It's no, we haven't changed. It was you. So that's always something we share at the first meeting, is sort of setting expectations. Is if you get through 2 or 3 days, then most people are going to start really experiencing what fresh food tastes like instead of what oil and salt and sugar tastes like. And so those are the things the food industry knows to trigger, to get people to maximize the calories that they buy and continue with processed food.
Yeah, I think at the end, Jay had lost 14 pounds, and I don't think either one of us thought he had 14 to lose, but it just kind of fell off of him. And I don't know that I lost it. I probably lost 5.
Okay.
Which for me, being not a big person, was a big deal. I was like, 5 pounds, heck yeah, I'll get rid of that forever. Sometimes
we'll see people actually put weight on too if they're underweight. We had one couple where the husband needed to lose weight and the wife was concerned about losing more weight. So she was 103 pounds. And at the end of the program, her husband had lost 20 and she had put on 5.
Wow.
So it's really because it's an anti-inflammation diet. If people are in an inflamed state, they're not going to be absorbing nutrients.
Right.
So when you remove the inflammation, they're able to actually start feeling better and getting more nutrition than they were before. Yeah, I think the food industry has trained people to snack through the whole day with energy bars and energy drinks, and people have less energy and more weight than ever. And so clearly those things aren't working. But if you go back to where we sort of, when I grew up, you had breakfast, you had lunch at school, you had dinner, you stayed up for a while and then you went to bed.
Right.
As opposed to today, if you're going to go do any activity, then people pack food. If you're going to go on a car trip, a plane trip, a hike, people are always taking food with them, even though they're not going to starve.
Yeah.
And being hungry is different than starving.
Right. And I still remember there was a guy in our 21-day Kickstart, and he had been on high blood pressure medication since he was in his early 20s. And they told him it was just the way that it was. You're always going to be on it. And his blood pressure was normal by the end of the program, which is a very common thing, right?
Yeah. Doctors and chefs who control what we tend to eat more than anybody else usually aren't trained in nutrition. So the Culinary Institute for America now has started teaching global plant-forward concepts to restaurants. I attended one last October, and they're actually teaching restaurants now that because of customer demand, as people become more educated about the benefits of plant-based, you better put this on your menu because people are going to start asking about it. It's meals to give you energy instead of meals to slow you down.
Wow, that was great information.
I love that place. I've actually been there myself. The food is amazing, but what I really like is even if you can't go to Green Fair, they give you the tools on how to kind of start on your vegan journey.
And they help you understand vegan, which a lot of people don't really
Yes,
understand.
and the food is delicious. I loved it. Well, we've got to take a quick break, but we've got more of The Good Life after one final break.
We are a nation of dieters, and because of that, we are bombarded with diet books and diet plans and diet fads. It gets really confusing, and it almost becomes like following a set of religious beliefs. I'm paleo, I'm vegan, I'm raw, I'm keto. Well, I like to keep things basic and simple. Health is the goal, and the epidemic of obesity is definitely not the road to health. Neither is diabetes. Believe me, it's not about counting calories. It's not about vegetables, it's not about meat, it's about the right balance between fat, protein, and carbohydrates in our foods. And the enemy is sugar. Humor me. Spend a day and log your carbs. Not your calories, but your carbs. Every piece of bread, every slice of pizza, every glass of orange juice, can of cola, French fried potatoes, a glass of wine, a forkful of pasta, a spoonful of sugar in your coffee at the end of the day, you're going to realize how much sugar you are consuming. There's no need to diet. Just watch those carbs. I'm Dr. Gene. Join us next week as we find the good life.